Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Hometown Sports Huddle. I'm Austin Hicks, and I'm going to be your host today. It's been a very exciting week for sports. Yesterday, the Salem Ridgejacks, their first game under their new name, they ended up winning their first game at home 5-4. It was a very exciting atmosphere. The stadium, Salem Memorial Ballpark, was packed full of fans that were excited to see their Ridgejacks take the field for the first time. It was just overall, it was an amazing experience just to be a part of that opening day because, as you guys all know, they were known as the Salem Red Sox for 16 years before they changed their name to the Ridgejacks. Also, down the street in Lynchburg, the Hill City Howlers, they weren't at home this week they weren't at home for their home opener. They were away, but they also won their first game. They're trying to repeat as champions. So we have a lot to talk about today, especially the Ridgejacks. We had yesterday, like I mentioned, the pitching was amazing, going through five scoreless innings, pitching five scoreless innings. It's going to be something that is going to have to really carry them throughout the season when you have a strong pitching group, a core guys of closers, relief guys, and in starting pitchers. That is something that will propel you very deep into the season, having a really good top to bottom unit. So I got a chance to speak with the pitching coach yesterday before their opening game, and he kind of talked to me a little bit about kind of what to expect from this unit and what they hope to accomplish going forward. So let's take a look. I got the pitching coach right here, Alex Reynolds here. Thank you so much for joining us. This is a new team, new name, new season. So there's a lot of excitement going into this season. Kind of how is the team feeling, the bullpen feeling going into this new season?
I think everyone's very excited. A lot of guys, when they're pitching this first week and a half, it's going to be their professional debut, right? So exciting, kind of first step along their way to being a big leaguer.
Yeah, and that's amazing. Like you said, a lot of guys this is their first professional action. There is a mix of guys who are returning, who have that experience, and those rookies who are trying to figure it out. How do you kind of come together, gel that chemistry together as you have a really long season?
Yeah, I think, you lean on the returners too. These guys, as it is their first season, they're learning how to be a professional and what that means. So leaning on those returners to help them out, develop routines, do what they need to do every day. But, we're all coming together for one goal, hopefully punch a lot of guys out and help each other do that.
Oh, yeah. One of these other questions I had for you. Yesterday during the media day, Ozzie talked about how you guys have a lot of guys on the mound. It's not just one guy. It's a whole crew that comes together. Who are some guys that you're excited about? And also just how are you guys going to attack this season? What do you want this pitching core to be known for by the end of the season?
Yeah, we're very excited about a lot of guys. Dylan Brown starting on the bump tonight. Feel really good about him. Excited to see him throw. I can name off the whole roster, really. Everyone looks good. I think we want to be known for just being nasty, throwing hard, punching a lot of guys out. If we can do those two things, we're going to be in a good spot.
Oh, yeah. We want to see a lot of Ks this year and today as well. My last question for you is going to be a good, fun one. Baseball is a sport of superstitions. You got the guys who say, I got to wear the same sock every day. I got to have my gum every day, every game going into the dugout. What are some of the superstitions that you have, and also some of the weirdest ones that you've seen from your pitchers?
Yeah, for me, I try to keep it simple. I think the main things are I do my chart the same way every night. I have the same handshake with Chavi when we get in the dugout every night. We do a lot of the same meetings at the same time, but a lot of the game's out of my hands, right? So it's not as crazy as some of the guys. You see a lot of the guys, they got to chew a specific amount of pieces of gum between every inning before they go out there. Like you said, underwear, like not washing underwear if they pitch well. I'm not in on any of that stuff, but whatever it takes.
Like you said, whatever it takes to get the win, man. I appreciate that, Coach Reynolds. Then again, pitching coach Alex Reynolds here. All right, so you guys have probably heard that last one that really made my eyebrows go up, not washing your drawers before going into a game. I know I played college football. I had my own superstitions. None of them were like that. It's like I had to listen to Feels Good by Tony before every game, and that kind of got me. That was my go-to routine, and I had to take like a jog with one of my teammates just up and down the field. But not washing your drawers, I would do many things to win. I don't think I'm willing to do that because that's just so nasty, at least seems so nasty. And then I feel like if he said, Coach Reynolds, he said that some guys do that. I feel like that's more than just one person. So imagine you got a bullpen of 8 pitchers that's just rocking out here with dirty draws that just smell like sweat and grime and dirt, and it's just that's just nasty to me to think about. But you know what? I'm not the professional because obviously it's worked out for them to get to this point to be able to play for the Ridgeax. So you know what? I'm not going to knock their hustle. I'm going to just appreciate the fact that they are so dedicated to their craft that they're willing to wear some dirty draws for 9 innings and get some wins. Well, and it worked yesterday too. So somebody wore some dirty draws yesterday, and then they won. So let's see if they'll continue that trend today. I just want to go through some of the game facts from yesterday. Their win today, marks the first time since the 2018 and 2019 seasons that the Ridgeax won consecutive games, opening day games. So that was something that being able to see that starting the season off with success is always, you got to start off the season off with the right foot. So being able to win another opening day game, it's really huge. And he mentioned Dylan Brown, who was starting pitching last night, had 5 scoreless innings, runless innings. That's amazing. The way to start the game out fast. They did end up coming close to a comeback. Like I said, the final score was 5-4. So that was something that just the pitching overall has to be continuous throughout, and that's just something that was that they need to continue to going forward. I want to kind of talk a little bit about the fan base because, as we know, this was their first home game under their new name. And it was a very controversial whenever when the formerly known as the Boston Red Sox decided to change their name. People were saying, "Oh, why are we changing the name? We like what we have." And whenever they announced the Ridgeax, we had people who said they loved the name. We had people who said they hated the name. And then now it kind of seems like the cold community of Salem and beyond is just kind of embracing it. I talked to so many people about it, and one lady who I spoke with said that she's really embracing the Ridgeax name and just the community as a whole. So I got a chance to go around and talk to some fans just about the opening day, what it means to them. So I'll just sit back and relax and enjoy this one. Fans in Salem have been waiting a long time to let out a cheer like that. On Thursday, they got the chance during the Ridgeax inaugural season opener.
Well, there's nothing better than opening night, and granted, Major League Baseball had its opening night, but having opening night here in Salem for the Salem Ridgeax, it's just great to be a part of the actual debut.
Hundreds packed Salem Memorial Ballpark to watch the game. If you're wondering how special this night is, look no further than Warren Zimmerman, who traveled from Pennsylvania to watch the game. You've seen so many other stadiums. You said this is the first time here. Yeah. How does this stadium compare to some of the others that you've been to?
I really enjoy it so far. I love the mountains, the background of the mountains. So I've been to quite a few, and I like the more out in the woods in the country. Like it's my type of setting. It's a great night for a game, nice wind going. So I'm looking forward to it.
It's a new day for the Boston Red Sox's A-ball affiliate. With the new name, it's almost like the team can start over and begin making a new legacy.
You do not know exactly who's going to end up on the team from year to year. So it's great to be able to see these young players, and then still being a Boston Red Sox affiliate, keep your fingers crossed, they could show up in Fenway Park one day.
There's something for everyone during opening night, and yes, that includes your furry friend.
It's so much more exciting because there's so many activities going on during the game. It's not just baseball, it's brushing of the third base. It's the races that they do, the bicycles, when they did the fish race, all that type of stuff. They absolutely love it. And of course, the fireworks.
In Salem, Austin Hicks, WDBJ 7. All right, and then the Ridgeax, they do play tonight. Actually, that game should be going on right now. So if you still have time to get there, obviously it's a long game, 9 innings. But today is Friday fireworks night. So if you want to watch some fireworks, go on and head down and watch that game. And also the Howlers, they are playing. It'll be an away game, so they are playing now. But you can catch all the scores later on tonight at 11. I'll break down all those scores and bring you some highlights as well. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be right back. And when we do come back, though, we're going to talk about March Madness because the women's Final Four, they play tonight, and you won't want to miss it. So coming back right after the break. Welcome out to the Hometown Sports Huddle. Again, I'm Austin Takes. I'll be your host today. Before we went on break, we were talking a little bit about March Madness. Today is the Final Four for the women's bracket. And it's going to be an exciting one. It's going to be the matchup of all the one seeds are going to be playing today. So we're going to have some exciting matchups ahead. So before we get into it, let's break down who and when they're going to be playing. So at 7, South Carolina, led by Dawn Staley, is going to be playing up against UConn. That's going to be a highly anticipated matchup. Both of these teams have won numerous national championships over the past couple of years. So to me personally, I'm a South Carolina fan. I love what Dawn has been able to do over there at that program, creating an actual, a really big dynasty full of powerhouse players. Aja Wilson, among many other superstars dominating the WNBA. Also, UConn as well has produced so many Paige Becker, Breanna Stewart. It's two historic programs who are going to be battling it out for a chance to play in a national championship. But if I was a betting man, I'd put my money on South Carolina. It's something about them. I know they're going up against an undefeated UConn team, but it's something about how they are able to overcome, and they've also been through it all. They've seen so much. They faced great opponents. I think that's something that should be taken into account as they go into this game. So I got South Carolina winning, and that game starts at 7, and that'll be on ESPN. At 9:30, Texas and UCLA will be playing. Like I said, this is a battle of the ones. All the one seeds made it to the Final Four. So it's really anybody's game. This is really the best of the best. Whenever you look at tournaments, you want to see the best teams play the best teams. And that's what we're getting now. So that all these games will kick off. One here, like the UConn and South Carolina game will kick off here the next 10 minutes. And then later on, Texas and UCLA will face off at 9:30. So, and you can catch all those games on ESPN. So don't want to miss that. But if you don't stay up for the game, I will break down all these games. I won't have highlights tonight because of NCAA rules, but I will have the scores for you and some of the details from those games coming up tonight at 11. I wanted to have some breaking news. Luka Doncic with the Los Angeles Lakers. He was injured in their game yesterday, and it has been officially announced that he has suffered a tier 2 hamstring strain. A grade 2 hamstring strain, which is going to take him out for the rest of the regular season. As you know, Luka Doncic has been on fire for the past month and some change. He's been averaging close to high 30s, has hit 40 several times in the past couple of games. He has been making a push for that MVP award. I think he was last ranked in number 4 behind SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Victor Wembanyama, and Nikola Jokic. So he's number 4, but he's been making a push late into the season. Obviously, the Lakers have been making a push for the playoffs as well. So having him out for the remainder of the regular season is huge. Not only for the fact that it's the regular season, because they've already solidified their spot in the Western Conference, just going into the playoffs not at your best, because he won't be healthy going into, because he's dealing with a hamstring injury. And for me, I've personally dealt with hamstring injuries. Those are some of the most frustrating injuries that you can possibly deal with, because of the fact that you can go through this whole rehab process. You can feel, wow, okay, I feel bouncy, I feel ready to go, I feel like 100%, and as soon as you get to competition and you take off, that's when you pull it, that's when you strain it again, that's when you start to feel the tight pull on it, and then you can't really do all the things that you want to do. Also, there's the mental aspect of it as well, because you're going through this, and these athletes know. Luka has dealt with hamstring injuries before. He's dealt with injuries in the past. He understands that. There's that mental aspect of it as well, because you're going into this game, you're going to the playoffs with one of the best teams that he's had, and also knowing that this may be LeBron's last chance here with at least LA. He knows that he needs to, and he's the engine of this team. So he knows he needs to be at his best. And they ask a lot of him. They ask a lot. To average 30-plus points per game in that level of usage throughout the regular season, that's a lot. And going into the playoffs, that's when teams the defense is allowed to be a little bit rougher with people. The fouls are not called as often. You may not get to the free throw line as easy. So going into the playoffs, this is going to be really crucial for their playoff push. Going into football, the NFL draft is coming up in a couple of weeks. And there was some breaking news yesterday with the Raiders, because as you guys know, the Raiders own the first overall pick, where they were expected to take Fernando Mendoza from Indiana. And yesterday they signed former Atlanta Falcons, Minnesota Vikings, and Washington Commander quarterback Kirk Cousins to a 5-year, $172 million deal. That is huge for a guy who has been in the league for so long. And it really kind of reshapes how people are thinking this draft is going to go. In my personal opinion, first off, let me break down this contract. In actuality, when people look at this contract, they see the 5-year, $172 million. They think, okay, this is their long-term investment at quarterback, which means they're probably going to trade their quarterback. I don't think that's the case. Actually, in reality, this deal is a 1-year deal with a club option. So basically, he's playing for $20 million guaranteed this season, and after the end of the season, the Raiders will come together, say like, okay, was this season, did he go absolutely crazy this season? Did he lead us to where we needed to go? Do we see a future with him as a quarterback? And they can decide, okay, we want to bring him back for a 3-year deal with $40 million per year. I don't think that's how it's going to go. I think this is how it's going to be. They're going to draft for Mendoza, number 1 overall. He will be their long-term solution at quarterback. A lot of people have been questioning this quarterback class about its strength. At the top, and obviously you have Mendoza, who led Indiana to an undefeated national championship run. I think he has all the tools to be a great quarterback. He can process defenses. He has a really good arm. The one criticism that after watching some film is that he does tend to go to his first read often, and he doesn't do well with pressure. But in the NFL, that's going to be an adjustment. I think what they're going to do is they're going to draft him, have him sit behind Kirk Cousins for a season, kind of how like Jordan Love did that behind Aaron Rodgers, how Aaron Rodgers did that behind Brett Favre, and so on and so forth. Have him develop Malik Willis, who was a Liberty grad, former Liberty quarterback, how he did behind Jordan Love for a season. I think they'll have Mendoza do that as well for a season. Learn from a pro. Kirk Cousins has been there, done that, has led some successful offenses, has been has been able to stick around in the league long term. Not because he's above average quarterback. He's won a lot of games. When he was in his prime with the Vikings, they had some of the best offenses in the league. So being able to be behind him and learn how to be a professional, learn how to process, study film, be able to be that guy that can be ready to step up and be the face of the franchise, I think that's perfect situation. I know when people look at it, it may not be the sexiest pick or the sexiest signing with Kirk Cousins, but you're going to have a guy that can, at his best, is going to lead a great high-powered offense and make it so that he doesn't turn the ball over. So your defense that now has Max Crosby again after that deal with the Ravens fell through, they're going to have a guy that can lead that offense. So this year, I wouldn't necessarily consider it a throwaway season, because you still have a quarterback that can come in and produce at a high level. So they can have that, and then you still have your future that's behind it when Mendoza learn and develop and get ready to take the reins next season. So I think that's something that is really exciting. And then plus there's other possibilities as well, because I'm not in these NFL locker rooms, but whenever you're making these decisions, you got to think about long term. And Kirk Cousins is he's been in the league for more than 12 seasons. He doesn't have many more left. So you don't want to put your stock in an aging quarterback who I believe has maybe 2, maybe 3 good years left in him before he decides to retire. You got to think about your long-term success. And I don't think that there's a quarterback in next year's draft that they're thinking, okay, we can tank for him and then get that quarterback. Because if you did, you wouldn't have gone with Kirk Cousins, because you would probably stick with whoever O'Connell, who's on their roster, who was pretty bad. You would stick with a guy so that you maybe tank, you won't win as many games. But with Kirk Cousins, you could win a lot of games. So that's my thoughts on that one. I think that's what will happen. But that's going to be it for me on the Sports Huddle today. Coming up in sports at 11, we're going to break down Virginia Tech softball and baseball play today. Virginia Tech softball team, as you know, is nationally ranked top 10. They played Clemson. They are running to avenge their loss against them yesterday. The men's team has a lot to work to do. They are playing away, but I'll have those. We'll break down that as well. UVA's softball and baseball teams, who are both top 10 ranked, have played today, so I'll have those as well. And our Ridge Jackson Howlers are also playing right now, so I will have all those highlights tonight. And you can check out all this. Come join us again on Monday through Friday. We'll be here on the Sports Huddle. Me, Sports Director Dave Walls, and Mitch Carr will be here 6:30 every day, Monday through Friday. So make sure you guys come back and join us. But again, thank you guys again so much for joining me today. That's going to be it for me, and y'all have a good one.